Jake Paul Joshua.
Oh, Jesus. That's a fucking bad idea. That's a bad idea. But let me tell you what, a lot of people watch that one.
Will you watch it?
Sure. You know what everybody's tuning in for on that one. Then I think everybody's gonna get what they finally been waiting for.
I'm a little fucked up, but will you take care of me forever and ever?
So the YouTube Golden Boy's luck finally ran out completely. Everyone's been asking the same question for years now. What happens when all that social media hype crashes headfirst into genuine heavyweight power? Well, December 19th gave us a brutal answer that nobody was really prepared for. This wasn't your typical boxing loss we're talking about here. This was a devastating reality check that's got Jake Paul eating through a straw from his hospital bed.
What's up, guys? The day after the fight. Got out of surgery a few hours ago. They put a plate in my jaw, wired it up. Hurts to talk, so I'm gonna keep it short. Took the L, respect to the man across from me.
The hype train has officially derailed, and it's not about those flashy press conferences or massive pay-per-view sales anymore. What we witnessed was a masterclass in knockout artistry that left everyone speechless. Now, Dana White is finally speaking up about what went down, and his comments are absolutely rocking the combat sports universe to its core. The question everyone's asking is, this whole influencer boxing thing actually over?
I don't hate your brother. You guys need to fight guys your fucking same size. When you fought Floyd, you are massive. He did hit you with a fucking bomb, and you fucking ate it. He's gonna fight Gervonta Davis. Who do you got? Gervonta, I think, hits way harder than Floyd, but he's too small. Your brother's gonna be able to get inside on him, put his weight on him, tie him up.
I hear your critique on fighting guys the same size as you. Is that why you got...
Round 6 was Jake's moment to prove he belonged in there with the big dogs, but it turned into the exact moment his entire persona crumbled. Anthony Joshua connected with a right hand at exactly 1 minute 31 seconds that was so perfectly placed and devastatingly powerful. It didn't just stop the fight, it literally rearranged Paul's facial structure. Jake had somehow managed to survive getting dropped 4 separate times in the earlier rounds, but this final shot was the wall he couldn't charm or talk his way past. When his body hit the canvas for the last time, all that red-hot swagger that built his career got replaced by the harsh truth of a completely shattered jawbone. This wasn't just a defeat, Joshua broke him physically like he was handling a casual training session before deciding to call it a night.
Or Jake would have moved around the ring at 100 miles an hour. There's 2 things I would have done. Tried to shut Jake down at 100 miles an hour, or I would have gone on the back foot. So Jake decided to move around the ring, and I decided to put the pressure on. What I could have done better is a lot of things, 100%. In the fight game, you've seen the amazing fighters that have graced us over the last 100 years, and the expectations that we put on ourselves are immense, but I tried my best. Jake done well while it lasted, but if you remember what I said in the interview with Cameron, is fighting's not just physical, it's psychological. And when you understand the psychological warfare, I did say to you is that, Jake, what's gonna happen? I'm gonna see a time when I'm gonna take your soul, and you're either gonna give up or you're gonna get knocked out. And unless you have that instinct, you just will never be a good fighter. So I wish that I could have knocked him out at the start, but as we saw tonight, Jake has spirit. He has some heart. He tried his best, and I take my hat off to him because, number one, a lot of fighters haven't got in the ring with me, and Jake did. And secondly, even when he got knocked down, he kept on trying to get up, and I take my hat off to him. So America, I think you have someone who could potentially, if he still has the heart for it, come back again, dust the dirt off his shoulder, and come again and maybe sell out this center sometime in 2026. Maybe against a Gervonta Davis, a Ryan Garcia, who knows?
What happened next at the medical facility reads like something out of a nightmare for Teen Paul. The surgical team at Miami University Hospital spent hours reconstructing his face, ultimately installing 4 separate titanium plates to hold his fractured jaw together. The destruction was so complete that multiple teeth couldn't be saved, and Jake's been stuck on nothing but liquids ever since. Those x-ray images making the rounds online reveal a jawbone that's completely severed, a permanent reminder of a matchup that seasoned professionals said should never have been and approve. Even with all that pain, Jake's joke about wanting Canelo in 10 days sounds more like someone desperately trying to stay in the spotlight than any real display of courage.
When Jake Paul lost to Fury, I haven't really paid attention to Jake Paul.
I have love for Jake too. I don't know.
Wait,
I don't know when a
Jake Paul's
fight's happening. I really
are all
don't.
the same. He fights older people that are smaller. It's all the same shit.
Am I not remembering correctly? Didn't Jake ask if you could make a amends between them?
I don't think it's ready for that yet.
Well, it's not that I don't.
Yeah.
Dana White couldn't contain his satisfaction when the results came in. The UFC boss has spent years calling this whole crossover boxing movement a complete joke, and this outcome was exactly the proof he needed. He came out swinging with his comments, explaining that there are skill levels in this sport that no amount of social media buzz or internet fame can bridge. White had been saying for months that people were only buying tickets hoping to see Jake get demolished, and watching the internet star end up in emergency surgery just proved his point that this was a terrible matchup from day one. In Dana's mind, this wasn't some tragic accident. It was the inevitable result of someone trying to play in a league they had no business entering.
Paul, what'd you think of the fight?
Oh, God. I think the gig is up. I'm just tired of Jake Paul as a boxer. I think he's done a fantastic job. He dressed up like Hulk Hogan. I just don't know how many more times Netflix is going to go to bat for him. But I think they will one more time because, you know, the axiom is basically if you draw money, you're going to be getting chance after chance until you're not drawing money. And then you'll still get a couple more chances after that because he did draw money. And that's kind of where he's at right now. You know, he's going to draw with Tyson. He's going to draw on this one. And so he's going to get a couple of more chances, you know, with Netflix. And they'll pay that, you know, good for him. They'll pay that money. But, man, these are, you know, this was just a bad fight. And made boxing look bad. Made boxing look bad in many ways. You know, especially it just was a circus. And the guy, you know, going for takedowns and the ref's not doing anything. I thought the ref was terrible. Thought Joshua, you know, was not good. Hurt himself, and then he even admitted it. And Jake was just out there not trying to win a boxing match. He was trying to survive and get the moral victory so he can go out there and be, you know, oh, you know, I lasted 6 rounds with Anthony Joshua. And he survived 6 rounds with him.
He survived all right.
But I
he
mean,
never quit.
The size difference between these two fighters on that December night was almost painful to witness. Joshua walked to the ring at a massive 243 pounds of pure muscle, looking exactly like the former unified champion he is, while Paul seemed almost small at 216 pounds. Combat sports analysts are now describing the whole thing as a cartoon chase scene, with Jake spending most of his time literally running away and grabbing onto Joshua just to survive another few seconds. The controversy around the Florida State Athletic Commission is exploding, with respected voices like Gareth A. Davies calling the approval completely reckless. When you allow someone with limited experience to face one of the planet's most dangerous punchers, you're not creating competition, you're creating a lawsuit waiting to happen.
He appeared to carry Jake Paul for a while, but told me afterwards that he could see that Jake Paul was being evasive. I spoke to him personally, and he decided just to slowly marinade Jake Paul. Obviously hit him with a huge right hand midway through the 6th round to end the bout. Broke Jake Paul's jaw. He ended up in hospital, kind of rearranged his teeth a little as well, but was very clear afterwards to give great praise to the bravery, courage of Jake Paul that everybody saw. I mean, delusionally optimistic he really is. Jake Paul should go and fight YouTubers and influencers now. I don't think this kind of bout should be sanctioned again. But Joshua, of course, now wants to fight Tyson Fury. He's called him out, and I hope we get that fight in 2026 after both of them have had warm-ups. I understand Joshua will have a warm-up fight in Riyadh late in February 2026. It's all done here. It's over. It's a one and done. I hope it doesn't happen again.
Inside the Paul family circle, the energy has completely shifted from cocky confidence to full crisis management mode. Logan Paul got emotional while defending his younger brother, insisting Jake had actually taken 4 of the 6 rounds before getting knocked unconscious. He kept talking about Jake's courage for continuing to fight with a broken jaw, but the professional fighting community isn't buying into this hero story at all. Respected figures like Daniel Cormier and Carl Froch have been absolutely savage in their analysis, suggesting that Joshua intentionally carried Jake through the later rounds just to give the Netflix viewers some entertainment value before putting him to sleep. Froch specifically called the entire event embarrassing and argued that the circus act did more damage to boxing's reputation than it did anything positive for Jake's career.
Jake Paul was just on pure survival mode from round 1 right through to round 6. I don't know if he's got a moral victory going 6 rounds. Maybe he has. People might give him credit for going 6 rounds, but he got in there and just survived. He just went in there and ran like a chicken from round 1 right through to round 6 when he got splattered. And it's like, it's just, you can't really justify what he's done, because this is supposed to be a professional sanctioned boxing match. And I think it brings the integrity of the sport down when somebody like AJ, who's a 2-time world champion, can't get in there and just completely dismiss somebody like Jake Paul, who I've said for ages can't fight. He's not a professional boxer. It's just AJ following him around, touching him to the shoulder. Round 1 came and went. Round 2 was much of the same, bit slow. I think AJ got caught with an overhand right at one stage, but sometimes when you're out in the rain, you're going to get wet. It was following him around, taking his eye off the ball, probably a bit undermotivated, thinking, what's this guy doing that's in front of me? Jake Paul was just running left to right, ducking low, falling on the floor, throwing a couple of wild swings, and one did get through, but it just bounced off AJ's chin like water off a duck's back. It was nothing. And then the only reason Anthony Joshua got the fight finished, the sad thing is, I think if Jake Paul was fit enough and he had the energy and the engine, which he hasn't got, because he's not a professional athlete. You know, he goes in the gym every day and he trains and he's fit and he trains like a pro, but that don't make you a professional fighter. What makes you a professional fighter is building yourself up through the ranking system, earning your position in the professional sport. And
Conor McGregor's pre-fight predictions are looking downright psychic at this point. Before the opening bell even rang, McGregor posted on social media that the fight would be easy work for Anthony Joshua, and later suggested that Jake would be fundamentally changed by what was coming his way. Turns out he was absolutely correct on both counts. Getting hit clean by a legitimate heavyweight champion doesn't just leave you with a black eye, it rewires how your entire nervous system operates. While Jake recovers in that hospital room, unable to chew actual food and facing months of physical therapy, the only conversation worth having is whether any amount of money could possibly justify having permanent metal hardware installed in your skull.
6th round before getting his face caved in. Literally, you can see the x-rays of his jaw online. Jake did not beat the count after absorbing the right hand that broke his jaw, and AJ got the KO. Guys, let me come out and say the story to me coming out of this fight is Jake Paul. This dude is a maniac in the best sense of the word. And I'm not going to try and hear any Jake Paul slander today on the show. Guys, nope. He got in the ring with a former Olympic gold medalist and heavyweight champion of the world who's 37, like he's not like 45 years old. He's still fighting, guys. Like, yeah, Dubois knocked him out. He was in that fight with Dubois. He was a top heavyweight. Yes. Yeah, Usyk beating him a couple times. Usyk, one of the all-time great fighters. And those were competitive fights. Yes. That Anthony Joshua. Jake Paul gave up enormous size, experience, talent, everything. And guys, let me tell you something. If all of us right now, you've been retired how many years? 10 years? I don't think combined, including you, Malik, we get into the 6th round with Anthony Joshua. If Anthony Joshua is coming to hurt you, which he was, and Jake Paul was tackling his legs. He was trying to use takedowns. He was exhausted. Yes. He was running. Yeah! Are you joking? No kidding! Yes. He's trying not to get killed. Yes. And by the way, I know it was a lot like William Skull and Canelo Alvarez, where Skull was kind of outlanding Canelo upstairs, but there was nothing on the shots. But the fact is, actually, Jake Paul landed more clean punches to the head than Anthony Joshua did before the end of the fight. What he did was amazing. Yes. And guys, he also did something else by taking this fight. What Jake did was retroactively justify fighting a guy like Tank Davis, or even trying to make that fight, because what Jake is demonstrating here is, okay, everybody, You're accusing me of having to fight an ancient Mike Tyson or a tiny Tank Davis or an old MMA fighter. I'm really thinking about how to make a global event that people are interested in.
The internet reaction has been split between people saying they saw this coming and genuine worry about where this sport is heading. Across Reddit and Twitter, fans are acknowledging that while Jake displayed heart, he demonstrated he's nowhere close to elite-level competition. The hashtags related to the Paul Joshua fight are loaded with clips of that final devastating punch, with countless users pointing out that the referee probably should have stepped in much earlier to prevent the damage. Even with those titanium plates holding his face together, Jake's facing a major decision point. Does he return to fighting people in his actual weight class as a much humbler person, or does he keep chasing these dangerous David versus Goliath scenarios until something even more catastrophic occurs?
But in the 6th round, you could just tell that this fight was over. You knew that Anthony Joshua was going to eventually land something that hurt Jake Paul. And you know how you know the boxing world wanted it to be brutal? Because Rosendo was sitting here and he goes, I hope he gets knocked out bad. He didn't want him to get TKO'd. They wanted Paul to get absolutely destroyed. And honestly, that right hand, oh my God, he took all of that right hand. You could see in his face, he was like, okay, now I understand boxing. Now I understand, like, at its worst, what boxing can be. Because he got hit clean by one of the biggest punchers, acclaimed, a lot of accolades, world champion heavyweight, and he went down and didn't get up. And honestly, I was hoping he didn't get up because it was only going to get worse. I thought Francis should have stayed down when Joshua hurt him bad. But a lot of times fighters just don't really want to give up on themselves. And that's why they get hurt worse. But it was exactly what it needed to be tonight for this fight and for this fight. It was fun. It was crazy at times with the wrestling and all the grabbing and the clenching. The referee saying the fans didn't pay for this shit, all the dirty tactics. It ended in the way that it should.
What December 19th taught everyone is simple. You cannot skip the line to heavyweight elite status without consequences. Anthony Joshua didn't just win a boxing match. He delivered a reminder that this sport isn't about subscriber counts or viral moments. It's about the raw physics of devastating power. Jake Paul might be counting his money from that $100 million gate, but he's currently discovering that no amount of cash can make a liquid diet feel like winning. This wasn't simply a knockout, it was the conclusion of a very loud, very expensive social experiment that left its main subject broken in every possible way. Ultimately, this Miami spectacle became a wake-up call for the entire influencer boxing movement. Fighting washed-up mixed martial artists or fellow content creators is one thing, but stepping directly into the path of a motivated elite-level heavyweight is something completely different. Jake Paul's educational experience has left him with a face full of surgical steel and a career that desperately needs some serious soul searching. Was this the defining moment when the problem child finally matured, or was it just the most expensive facial reconstruction in entertainment history? Whatever the case, the unusual quiet from the Paul camp recently says more than any of their pre-fight boasting ever could.
Big fair play to Jake Paul. Like, Jake Paul done what anyone would do if they stepped in the ring with an experienced fighter that they know they can't compete with. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, if me and you was to spar, if you wanna not get KO'd immediately, you don't stand in the middle and engage with me. Why would you do that?
I'll take my chances, to be fair.
Fair enough.
No,
hug it.
Make it ugly as you can.
What else are you supposed to do? You're clearly not going to defeat me if you decide to box me. So you have to use something else. That's what Jake done. He done it for as long as he could. He realized AJ's strong. I'm not going to battle with him in the clinch. I'm just going to drop to the ground. As I've said, my guy, that referee, he refereed Jake and Neeson Gibb. He knows that ref. He thought that ref would allow him. In his mind, you see when you're the A side and you ain't in the dirty side of boxing, you think that everything and everyone around it's in your favor. He thought that referee was going to let him keep falling, pick him up, just dust off his gloves, and continue the fight. When the referee said to him, bro, stop doing that, he was thinking, oh my God, even the ref that knows me, yeah, is on me. AJ's on me, my corner's on me, the ref's on me, I'm getting tired. this guy's strong. Like, that is literally what happened. But who could blame him though? Like, I rate Jake for doing what he done tonight. Like, he lasted for as long as he could, and that was the mission.
What's your take on this whole situation? Think Jake Paul can bounce back from this devastating loss? Who would you want to see him face when he recovers? Drop your thoughts below. That wraps up today's breakdown. If this content hit different, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you catch everything we drop. Make sure to share your perspective in the comments below. Keep it locked and we'll see you in the next one.